Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! Welcome along to the Commentary Hub's coverage of the Community Shield. But for this afternoon, it's the Premier League winners Arsenal taking on FA Cup winners Manchester City for the first piece of domestic silverware on offer for the two sides. And some of the new some of the new signings on show for both of these sides, as well as we get ready to count down to what's going to be a big game in the Millennium in the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. Due to all the commitments at Wembley Stadium today, we are up in Cardiff for this game today. I'm Russ, your Matchday commentator. Alongside me is Daniel Money as the teams are making their way out onto the field of play right now. And Dan, first things first, welcome back to the TCHub after your break after the World Cup. This should be a good game today, shouldn't it?
Thank you, Russ. Yes, I'm hoping for a great game today. Much to my surprise, the lineups are a lot stronger than I thought they would be when I was thinking about this game earlier today. So hopefully everyone's all prepped, fitness levels are right back up there, and I'm hoping for a very exciting and entertaining game today.
Yes, so am I, Dan. So am I. And just to let people know, in the event of this game ending in a draw after 90 minutes, or whether that's 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, you get me drift, there'll be no extra time for these two sides today. We will go straight to a penalty shootout. And Dan, when your team's involved in a penalty shootout, whether you win or you rather them win, but when it's a penalty shootout with your team involved, I don't know about you, Dan, but when my team's involved, and you know what team that is, I don't like penalty shootouts. I normally walk out of the room or turn away while the penalty shootouts are being played. I don't know about you, Dan. What are your thoughts with penalty shootouts with your team involved?
I'm a glutton for punishment there. I sit and watch it, whether it's club or country. Obviously, we lost the Champions League final on penalties. That was painful to watch. But then I had a couple of more enjoyable penalty shootouts in pre-season, with wins against Borussia Dortmund and against Como. So I'm hoping if it does go to penalties, it goes the way it did against Como or Borussia Dortmund, rather than the way it did against Paris Saint-Germain.
Yes, absolutely, Dan, absolutely. And we've got a comment in the comments section today. Big up to my good friend Danny Rumsey, hopefully doing well. Welcome along to the show today, Danny. Please make sure you like, subscribe and share the feed out to get more people in for us, if you're not already doing so as well. Rather, the two teams are going through the handshakes with the dignitaries at the moment. I can see the shield there in front of us. So while they're going through that, let's take a look then at today's starting lineups. Starting with Arsenal, who are managed, as we know, by Mikel Arteta, who helped them win the Premier League last season. Arsenal managed with David Raya in goal. It's a back four of Ben White, Christian Mosquera, Gabriel and Ricardo Calafiore. Two in front of the back four in Bruno Guimaraes and Miles Lewis-Skelly, with Noni Madueke on the right, Christos Solis on the left, and Martin Odegaard, the captain, in the middle behind Kai Havertz. Arsenal, two new signings in their starting lineup today, Christos Solis and Bruno Guimaraes. We'll touch on Bruno Guimaraes, see how big Dan thinks he could be to this Arsenal side in a moment. The Arsenal bench is Kepa Arrizabalaga, the backup goalkeeper, Piero Nkapie, Bukayo Saka, Eberichi Eze, Victor Gyökeres, Mikel Moreno, Martin Zubimendi, Declan Rice and Max Dowman. As for Manchester City then, the first game under new head coach Enzo Maresca, after he replaced the outgoing Pep Guardiola, was in charge of the Citizens for 10 years. For Man City, they line up with Gianluigi Donnarumma in between the sticks today. Your back four then is Abdul Kader, cousin of Ruben Diaz, Josko Vardiol and Nico O'Reilly. Two owning role in Mateo Kovacic and new boy Elliot Anderson. Then the front three behind the striker, we've got Antoine Semenyo, Phil Foden, Jeremy Doku, and the leading the line is Erling Haaland. And the Man City captain today is Ruben Diaz. Mark Giddy, Omar Mamouche, Ryan Cherky, Nico Gonzalez, Jack Grealish back amongst the team for Manchester City, Rene Nouri, Mateus Nunes and Rico Lewis. Today's officials for this game is Sam Barrett. He's assisted by Craig Taylor and Blake Antrobus, with Fari Alam. The fourth official reserve assistant is Alistair Nelson, and in VAR, should we need them today, hopefully we don't, is James Bell and Timothy Wood. Just looking at the stats for the referee a moment before we go into the we'll go through the heads first. In fact, in Arsenal 100 wins, Man City's 49, 46.3 win percentage for Arsenal, 22.7 for Manchester City, 1.52 XG for Arsenal, 2.19 for Manchester City, 2.70 average goals scored for Arsenal and 2.80 for Manchester City. Just the stats for Sam Barrett, when he's refereed Arsenal 10 times and Arsenal won 9-1 defeat, 90% win rate there. 10 yellow cards for Arsenal, no reds, awarded 1 penalty to Arsenal, none against. Whereas for Man City, 5 matches officiated, 4 wins, 1 defeat, 80% win rate there. 8 yellow cards, no red cards for Man City, and no penalties for or against the Citizens for Sam Barrett, who is average 3.46 yellow cards per game and 0.303 per game red cards. Is widely recognised for keeping red cards low in that one there as well, and 0.30 per game in terms of Sam Barrett. Let's take a look at the goalkeeping stats then, and you see there David Raya's record: 192 wins, 97 draws, 82 defeats, compared to 206 wins, 80 draws and 65 defeats for Donnarumma. 1 goal against average for Ryan, 1.03 for Donnarumma, 72.1 save percentage for Raya, 7.73% for Donnarumma, 118 clean sheets for Raya, 119 for Donnarumma, and Raya is 30, Donnarumma is 27 then today. And Dan, just touching on the new signings then, and well, first of all we'll touch on Elliot Anderson of Manchester City. He was part of a brilliant Nottingham Forest side who did reasonably well last season, was part of the England World Cup squad as well. How do you think he's going to make a difference to this Manchester City side this season?
I think he's a great signing, Russ, and hopefully he fits in just like he did at Nottingham Forest. It'll be a totally different type of play to what he's used to at Nottingham Forest. He was very close to being my man of the match against Argentina in the World Cup. He was fantastic throughout the World Cup. I do think City overpaid a little bit for him, but as you know, prices between Premier League clubs for homegrown English players are extremely inflated. But it'll be an interesting signing to watch throughout the season. As an Englishman, I hope he does well. As not a Man City fan, I hope he doesn't. But yeah, I wish him all the best.
Yes, we'll touch upon the 2 Arsenal new boys who are signing, who have been signed and involved in this game. We'll touch upon those in just a moment or two. There is Sam Barrett, the match referee, as I mentioned. He's about to get this game off and underway very, very soon here at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. The 2 teams just going through the huddles ahead of these 2 sides kicking off this first domestic pub competition this season. It's always done as a curtain raiser to the Premier League, which kicks off on Friday evening, which we'll have on the channel as well. But we're about to get this game off and underway. It'll be Arsenal beginning off and underway, attacking the goal away to my left hand side in this first half. Man City attacking the goal away to my right. But it'll be Arsenal there. Red shirts, white shorts, red socks, together with City in their traditional sky blue shirts, white shorts, and white socks. And we're underway in this Community Shield game between Arsenal and Manchester City as a ball. We fall down the far side for Arsenal, going towards the penalty from Ricardo Calafiori early on here. Good piece of play this in the end. Is in towards the penalty area. It'll be cleared away. And Arsenal will try and come forward again. Good ball through in towards the penalty. Ricardo Calafiori! And it's scored inside 25 seconds. And Arsenal have taken the lead. To the left back, Ricardo Calafiori. And what a fantastic start to this game for Arsenal. And that's just the start that Mikel Arteta would have wanted here at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff.
That's not just the start he wanted, it's the start I wanted as well, Russ. Just checking there, the offside. No, as the ball's come over. What a brilliant start. But Calafiori, we know he likes to get all over the pitch. And for a left back, he's more in the position of a centre forward there. That's where you want Victor Gyökeres or Kai Havertz. But what a move, what a goal, what a start.
Yeah, what a start for Arsenal. Base score inside a minute. And this is just a perfect start. Not just for, as Dan said, not just for Arteta and Arsenal, for the Arsenal fans watching and listening to us as well, and watching the game, not just on the televisions around the game and around on the TVs, but also inside the stadium as well as we watch this game unfold here this evening. It's Arsenal 1, Man City 0 in the Community Shield. Here comes Manchester City again. This time, Diaz with possession. Good ball that goes back now to Donnarumma, who would have probably wanted to keep a clean sheet in this game today. But they haven't done. Fantastic start. Welcoming Data.
It's not the start you want as a goalkeeper, Russ, conceding inside the first minute. It can make the afternoon very, very long.
Yes, and Arsenal will now be looking to keep a clean sheet and start really, really well here, Dan. And City have been put under pressure early on, and this is not what Enzo Maresca would have wanted either, Dan.
No, it's not for his first game in charge. Not the Man City we're used to, Russ, is it, at the moment?
No, and they've probably got to get used to the way Maresca wants to play in this game with regards to the style and everything. But it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes for to get into the groove in the Maresca style, because you saw he didn't work well at Chelsea. He worked well at Leicester, but he didn't work well at Chelsea. Maybe it depends how well he does here. Maybe it's not going to be the style to suit these sort of clubs with these sort of players. That maybe his style suited to teams at the lower end of the Premier League and upper echelon of the Premier League, maybe.
I mean, I think
sometimes,
I think when you've had a manager like Pep Guardiola, who's been at a club for so long and delivered so much success, it is very difficult to come in and replace someone like that. The expectations are high. As we know in football, you've got to meet those expectations immediately. And sometimes I think you're better off being the manager after the manager who replaces someone like Guardiola.
Yes, maybe, Dan. We'll have to wait and see how this goes around as we watch this game unfold today. We'll be keeping you updated across this game today. There is a couple of games in the Championship which we'll keep you abreast of at half time, and again at the end of our match today. We will be with you till the trophy presentation is lifted here at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. As here comes Nani Madueke down this near right hand side for Arsenal. We could get a second in a what a perfect start that would have been, or would be if Arsenal do get a second. He's in towards Kai Havertz from Martin Odegaard, and it's cleared away. And there's a foul there, is it? Yes, foul by Ben White on Jeremy Doku. Then Dan, what's your thoughts on Arsenal signing Bruno Guimaraes, who's starting today alongside Maslow scaling that defensive midfield role?
I think it's a very exciting signing for Arsenal. Lots of experience, fantastic player. Didn't have the best of World Cups, and obviously a lot of criticism for his penalty miss against Norway. But as a Premier League player, for Newcastle, he's been absolutely fantastic over the years, and I don't think you can argue against that. Helped Newcastle to their first domestic silverware for a very long time, winning the League Cup, beating Liverpool. So another signing I'm looking forward to seeing play for Arsenal.
Yeah, Solis had a cross which was deflected into the arms of Donnarumma after a good play from Ricardo Calafiori again, and he's headed away by Gabriel as far as Doku. Ben White is there to tidy up Mascara, now just helps him out. Only as far as Nico O'Reilly was also part of that England World Cup squad. Here's Jeremy Doku down the left hand side, deflected off of Ben White, who didn't go to the World Cup with England. Was looked at by Thomas Tuchel in some of the friendlies, but didn't get selected. He had a bit of a summer rest. He's Kovacic now. And he's a bit further forward from that defensive midfield role as we normally like to see him play. And Man City's playing a different type of role with only Kovacic holding back. He's the one being allowed to play forward, corner Phil Foden, and make it a 4-1-4-1 as Odegaard comes forward through Arsenal into Madueke just behind him a little bit, but Madueke still gets there. Madueke goes down, the referee says play on, and now Phil Foden can come away with it. And Manchester City, Arnold just gone offside, so Foden has to go on his own. Here's Jeremy Doku down this near side, in towards the penalty area, cuts inside. I count the penalty area, gives it away to Odegaard, who skips away from Kovacic and Anderson. There's Martin Odegaard. Run from Foden, maybe just the final execution wasn't there as Calafiori comes forward now on that far side to Crystal Solis. Time from Club Brugge this summer for Arsenal. Anderson wins the ball back for City though. And he's now with Antoine Semenyo. Good start to this game from Man City. A good response, just can't find the final ball yet in terms of getting shot on target, Dan.
No, I think both sides, apart from the opening 30 seconds, breaking up play very well on the edge of their 18-yard box, and then they're advancing very quickly up to the opposition's 18-yard box. Some nice football, some nice passes. But then obviously they're not getting past this 18-yard line at the minute either side, ever since the first 30 seconds. So it looks like it's shaping up to be a very entertaining game, Russ.
Yeah, should be a good game this one, Dan.
And with Foden with that burst forward early, I think he held on to the ball a little bit too long, but Haaland strayed offside, and I think that's why he held on to the ball for as long as he did. And then he was forced the opposite direction to where Haaland was going.
Yes, absolutely. He should have done a bit better though. The player of Phil Foden's calibre though, Dan, in my opinion, should have done it a little bit better than what he had done, but let's see if he will learn from that error of his ways, and maybe Haaland needs to just time his runs a little bit better. Obviously, you've touched on Bruno Guimaraes for Arsenal. What's been your thoughts of Crystal Solis so far in an Arsenal shirt, in the friendlies that you've seen, and also he's starting this game today as well, Dan?
Very exciting. I must admit, I see him against Girona, Borussia Dortmund, and against Como, and I thought he played. I know we lost a couple of those friendlies against Betis as well. He looks very exciting, great dribbler, a number of assists throughout those games, and a couple of goals. Good penalty. I'm really looking forward to seeing him play in the Premier League. I hope he can adapt to the pace and the ferocity of the Premier League very, very quickly.
Yes, here's the ball in from Anderson, cleared away. Only as far as Joshua Gavardiol. On this near side of the left, he looks to cross it back in. Being ops against it. Just Vardiol. He'll now pull the ball in towards the penalty area. Semenyo and Anderson can't get either of that and goes down for a goal kick. But City can't get the final pass right at this moment in time. We're just looking at the goal, the ball in again, which deflected into the arms of Donnarumma. Maybe Solis could have done a little bit better by just taking an extra touch before we tried whipping it in first time. Took an extra touch. Probably would have been a bit better cross there. He's headed away this time by the 45 cousin of who's playing at right back today. It's normally a centre back. We must have got Ruben Diaz, the captain, and Josko Vardiol as the two centre back options today. Here is Shemi Doku. Good control is from Doku. He will play the ball infield to Vardiol, and now Kovacic into Foden. Foden switching the play well into Semenyo. Semenyo will look forward. Down the line it goes. Here's Anderson. Back to Semenyo again. Doesn't have it now, has it? Goes back towards halfway and Diaz just inside the centre circle, and that's going to be forced back to Donnarumma. Good pressure that from Kai Havertz, who's not normally a striker but being turned into a striker by Mikel Arteta. And what should force Havertz as a striker, Dan? Because in some games it's worked for Arsenal, some games it hasn't. We'll pick up in a moment as Arsenal will come forward and only man Weke. Ball to Ben White, now to Bruno Guimaraes, finds Martin Odegaard. Madueke again down this right hand side. Infield to Odegaard. Odegaard will play the ball further across to the left. And Gabriel. Down the line is Solis. We've got Calafiori on the inside of him. Goes back to Gabriel once more. Further back now to Mosquera. Back to Gabriel, who will look to get the ball forward. Arsenal lose out. And Man City have possession, but Arsenal winning back again by Kai Havertz. He's Bruno Guimaraes now for the Gunners. Trying to unlock the City defence again. Weke down this near side into the penalty. Low cross in, deflected behind for a corner. We'll play that from Arsenal down from running back again within the corner. Good build-up play from Arsenal again.
A great move, good low cross in. Vardiol in the right place at the right time, knocks it out for a corner. That may not do City any favours. We know how dangerous Arsenal can be at these set pieces. City will have to be on their toes here, Russ.
They will indeed, Dan, as Madueke will tear this corner kick for Arsenal. He'll go in towards the in towards the penalty from Noni Madueke. But the Arsenal players in the far post make a run towards the near. He's in there, flicked on, and he's out to Odegaard. Now back to Madueke again. He'll look to deliver this time. Well, now we played it short into Ben White. White tries to deliver off of Jeremy Doku. He bounces, just keeps the ball in play as well. And then he lets it go behind for a corner there, Ben White. Good play that again from Arsenal. Good play from Ben White, just making sure he goes behind for a corner when he could have tried keeping it in and going it in. I think that would have done a bit better. That probably would have worked better because of City being able to reset now, Dan.
It's intelligent from Ben White letting that go out for a corner. I think, you've got so many players forward, not to be silly there, just play it out. You don't want City breaking with all your defenders up the other end of the pitch. I think Arsenal have got a good shout for a penalty here, Russ.
Yeah, corner came in from Martin Odegaard. The man's gone down to the back post. Gabriel was, but besides Gabriel's been penalised for a foul on Josko Vardiol. We're looking at this again, and for me, the referee has got that spot on there. You can see Gabriel grabbed hold of Josko Vardiol by the neck of his shirt and chucked him to the ground. Spot on decision there from Sam Barrett.
75-25 that one, wasn't it? Not 50-50.
Yeah. You thought that he also had a case for a penalty then. He's just proven that's not the case.
Yeah, well, the replay cleared that up for all of us, I think, Russ.
Yeah. Well, I thought, when I looked at it then, I thought, I'm not sure. I couldn't quite work out from the initial angle we got the initial contact, but when you saw it on the replay, Dan, you can clearly see Gabriel was the instigator for that one, and the correct call was made by Sam Barrett. I think had he pointed to the spot, VAR would have overturned it.
Should have overturned it as well, Russ. So back to your question. I think Kai Havertz, he's kind of like a little lost player, isn't he? You don't really know what is his best position. It hasn't worked in midfield for him at Arsenal. Occasionally the number 10 has worked for him, and then the number 9 has worked on occasions. Hasn't really found his best position yet, I think, Kai Havertz.
It'll be interesting to see how this game goes for Arsenal and for Havertz, and it'll be interesting to see whether Havertz stays as the number 9 for the season, or whether Arsenal will look to utilise Victor Gyökeres more often from the start in that position, because it looks as though the moment Gyökeres is going to be back up, and maybe that's just because of Gyökeres coming back from the World Cup being more than Kai Havertz, as Havertz didn't really stay longer than Sweden with the German squad out there in the Summer's World Cup. But this has been a good start to this game. Arsenal 1, Man City 0 in the Community Shield, as Arsenal just have possession with Vardy. Good bit of play this one now. Obviously, Chelsea Tower had good enough. Sends the ball long downfield. It goes behind the after a goal kick to Arsenal. And Dan, we've played just over 15 minutes now. What's your assessment of the opening, say, 16 minutes or so in this match today?
Well, you had the great bit of play from Arsenal within the first 30 seconds, which they scored from. And then ever since then, I think it's been very, very even. Both sides putting together some nice moves, some good passing, getting in and around the 18-yard box. But once they're in and around the 18-yard box, it fizzles out, or defenders do their jobs and get the ball clear. It's very hard. If you was just joining us now, you wouldn't know and didn't know the score. You wouldn't think it was any side was winning. It's been a very evenly fought contest, and I think both sides are showing a lot of attacking intent. It's been nice to watch so far.
Yes, it's been nice to watch so far. And if you're new around these ways and new to the commentary hub, please do us a massive favour if you don't mind, and that is drop us a like and drop us a follow and a subscription on YouTube, and also drop us a follow on our X feed as well, a commentary live one. Just today we'll start posting our games out on there again in the near future. Now I have a chance to do any for the last 3 games that we've had. Well, past 4 games, just bowling towards the counter, cleared away. Comes to Jimmy Doku, just keeps the ball, can't keep the ball in play, and it goes behind for a goal kick to Arsenal, as City tried to respond to us. Bowling from Elliot Anderson, just too much on that for Berlin. We tried to find Doku, and Doku tried to keep the ball in, but got into the far side. And we've had 3 games from the EFL this weekend so far. We've had ones against Blackburn, we've had from the Championship, also had Sheffield United and Birmingham from the Championship last night. We also had a game from League One as well yesterday afternoon. Barnsley against Bromley. Go and check out those if you want to do so. I was presenting the coverage for the game between Sheffield United and Birmingham last night, which Paul would have a brilliant commentary from. And then brilliant commentary on Friday night from Paul as well in the Wolves Blackburn game as well. And Nicholas produced a really good commentary as well on the Barnsley against Bromley game yesterday afternoon. He kicked off at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, that one. So just 24 hours ago, we had Barnsley against Bromley. Now we've got Arsenal against Manchester City. Not bad for your first weekend of the new season to get 2 3 o'clock games on the Channel 4 yet. During this season, we will not have many 3 o'clock games on a Saturday for you due to televised restrictions in the UK, but we will bring you other matches up and down the country and the leagues as well, and there's certain different kick-off times. As we watch this game today, Man City 0. If you're just tuning into us this afternoon, we're spinning Daniel through the action alongside Daniel Money, bringing you this game today between Arsenal and Manchester City. 19 minutes gone, it's Arsenal 1. Man City is Antoine Semenyo, formerly of Bournemouth. We've been in Man City for quite a bit now. Here is Ruben Diaz, who's got the captain's armband today. And we heard pre-match that Diaz, along with Erling Haaland, will be the captains for Manchester City at the moment under Enzo Maresca, who replacing Bernardo Silva. It's Phil Foden from the edge of the penalty area. Shot saved well there by David Raya. O'Reilly. And save again by David Raya. Behind for a corner. And City there, Dan, coming close to an equaliser.
Yeah, very close. A great save there from Raya to deny Foden. But then I think a free kick's been given here for a little push on Mosquera. And a second save from David Raya. Not needed, but he wasn't to know that. And it'll be Raya to get us back underway with a free kick, Russ. But a good move from City.
Yeah, free kick has been given. Yes, free kick has been given, as Dan Riley pointed out. He'll like to punch it through a corner initially, the referee. He has changed his mind. You can see the match stats on your screen in the middle of the two lineups. Our excellent producer, Paul James, with the graphics on your screen today. Really good to have Paul with yet another season. And join us towards the back end of last season time for the World Cup, and good to have him on for his first full season on the channel. Dan will be back on air next Friday night with the Arsenal's opening game of the season against Coventry City. Make sure you stay tuned for that one next Friday evening on the Commentary Hub. And Danny, looking forward to bringing you that game next week. Well, next week between Arsenal and Coventry. See how Coventry do back in the Premier League under Frank Lampard.
I am, Russ. The Clash of Champions. I'm very excited to be bringing that game to our viewers on the Commentary Hub. Premier League champions v Championship champions. Newly promoted Coventry, a big club in their own right. Years ago, looking to restore former glories. Looking forward to a great game.
Yes, and it's another great game that we have in store today, which we have so far. 21 minutes on the clock. Arsenal 1, Man City 0. Like it comes forward down the right hand side and towards the penalty, back out of the penalty area. And like again, just skips inside the penalty area. Back heel into Bruno Guimaraes. Can't keep the ball in, can he? No, Bruno Guimaraes. He does though. Like he gone behind, but the referee said play on as the ball was just kept in play by the Brazilian. The £35 man signed from Newcastle United. Let's Guimaraes. Again, he scores this time though too near the hands of Gianluigi Donnarumma. And it's Arsenal 1, City 0.
Some good work from Noni Madueke there. I thought, battling away under pressure, winning 2 challenges.
Yeah, he did well there. And I've just seen there, Bruno did just keep it in. It looked like he was going to go out. Jeremy Doku in behind Ben White here. And Ben White's been called napping. Doku into the penalty area, pulled back. But Gabriel was there to defend really, really well to help out Ben White. Because Ben White got called there, Dan, with the ball over the top. And that's something City could exploit in this game.
It did then. It looked like when Ben White was initially caught out there, he tried to have a little tug back of Jeremy Doku, and we've got to be careful. That would have been a yellow card, and you don't want to be on a yellow card for long periods of time against these City wingers.
Yes,
make your afternoon very difficult.
Absolutely, Dan. 23 minutes gone. Arsenal 1, Man City 0. Thanks to Calafiori's goal after just 25 seconds. Ball into the penalty area where Semenyo was there, but David Raya falls onto it. An Arsenal man going down off of the ball here. I think it's Christoph Solis who's gone down. Yellow card for Phil Foden there. Just trying to work out what happened with this one.
He's pulled him back as he's tried to run past him there, Russ. Prevented Raya from unleashing a throw and getting Solis away down the left. Foden's just tugged him back.
Yeah, brilliant spot there, Dan. I saw something happen between Foden and Solis. We just couldn't see what it was, and then as you were saying it, we saw it on the replay now monitor that we've got in front of us here. We can then throw Arsenal to be taken by David Raya, just a couple of yards outside of his penalty area. It sends it along right-footed towards the edge of the penalty area on Arsenal's left-hand side. Well, sends it forward. We can't pick out Havertz, who was on the floor there as he challenged for the ball. Anderson sends the ball forward, looking for Erling Haaland, who's against Mosquera, who does well to get the ball back, and then slips over, does Christian Mosquera.
Showed some great pace, I think, there, Mascara. We know
He did that.
Haaland's no slouch when he gets going, but just kept him at bay there, Mascara. Some good defending.
Absolutely, Dan. Here is Ben White. Good ball to find Bruno Guimaraes. Back he goes now into the path there of the aforementioned Mascara. And then across to Gabriel. We've got Lewis Skelly dropping in between the back two centre backs. And Ben White and Calafield can be pushed further forward when that happens. Is Martin Odegaard into aforementioned Ben White. Down the line it goes to Manny Madueke. Back to Odegaard and now Ben White. Odegaard finds Lewis Skelly, who finds Mascara, and now back into Lewis Skelly, now into Gabriel, and now Ricardo Calafiori, the scorer of Arsenal's goal after just 25 seconds. Just plays the ball back across to Mascara. Now Ben White from Martin Odegaard, and left from White looking to send Madueke away. Madueke can't get that, and that's a fantastic sliding challenge to prevent the Arsenal wing again there by Josko Vardiol. Going taken by Odegaard back to Mascara. Now Bruno Guimaraes into Odegaard. All over the top looking for Ben White. Just too much on that ball there. And the Arsenal right back can't get the ball and keep it in play there. It remains Arsenal 1. Man City just joining us. 26 minutes on the clock. There is the Kaya Saka having a bit of a laughing a joke with some of the Arsenal backroom staff on the bench. He not yet to feature in any of the friendly games. That's probably why he's just on the bench today in terms of Declan Rice and also Bukayo Saka. Here comes Jeremy Doku now for Manchester City. Cuts infield. There's a ball in towards Foden. Just behind Foden is now Havertz. Gets Solis away. It's a Solis will hold up the player.
Solis was away down the left there.
He was. He comes down the right instead to Noni Madueke. And walking this Arsenal man doing now up against O'Reilly. The two Englishmen up against one another. It was on the same side of the World Cup. Now back on opposite sides. Then White finds Lewis Skelly. Back to Madueke. And now Odegaard. There was a cross in towards the penalty. Zolis back across. Havertz! 2-0. And Arsenal double their lead. Poor goalkeeper from Gianluigi Donnarumma. And Kai Havertz has scored for Arsenal. And Arsenal now have that second cushion just before the and it's now Arsenal 2, Manchester City 0.
You must say, this Havertz as a number 9 against City does seem to work. The 5-1, even last year when they lost 2-1 at the Etihad, closing down Donnarumma to equalise. That's terrible from Donnarumma. The goalkeeper of that size, he should have come out for that and claimed it. Even if he didn't, he should have done much better on the line.
Yes,
that's got to go down. That's as a howler for the goalie.
If you look at it from this angle down here, he goes underneath his arms and then he comes back and hits him on back. If you watch it from here, he comes down underneath his arm, get back to his arm, his elbow,
punches it in,
and then exits into his own net.
Oh,
Kai Havertz has put Arsenal into a 2-goal lead.
I wonder who'll get credited with that goal, Russ. I didn't actually see the ball across the line before Donnarumma.
Yeah, we'll see in a second.
Nodded it in.
It's gone down as a Kai Havertz score for now. Any confirmation of a own goal will be. We will let know, but so far as Kai Havertz would be credited for that Arsenal's second goal. But the dubious scores panel committee will be looking at that one.
It's a bit hard to say, but I know with Arsenal they've been playing well, but City have been slightly more on top, I would say here. I wouldn't say it was against the run of play, but certainly didn't see that goal coming.
It'll be interesting now down what City's approach will be, because we've had more possession. We've only had one shot in the entire game and one on target. Arsenal had 2 shots, both on target and both in the back of the net. And you can't get any more clinical than that. Dan, 2 shots, 2 goals. One more can out at 1 foot from his side.
You wouldn't want any more. The only thing maybe you would want more is maybe 3 shots on target and 3 goals. But Arteta will be very happy with the way things are going at the minute. City have looked dangerous at times around the 18-yard box, but the save from Raya, the double save that was when the free kick was awarded, but nothing really of threat, have they? I mean, the shots were from distance, comfortable, although good saves. But yeah, nothing really clear cut. Nothing, not a sniff for Haaland as of yet.
No, it'd be interesting to see what Haaland does in this game moving forward and see whether he can help City get back into this game. I wonder whether we may see a first appearance from us for quite a while of Jack Grealish and whether he can change things for Manchester City and Enzo Maresca, because so far it doesn't look that way that that's going to happen, Dan, because Arsenal, I know City have been on top in terms of possession, but Arsenal have defended really, really well and probably need somebody to unlock the door, maybe a Jack Grealish, but they've got players now can normally unlock a door in the likes of Phil Foden, Doku, Semenyo, so I'm not really sure whether whether Grealish will be able to do that for Man City, but maybe they may have to turn to him or Marmoush from the subs bench, and maybe even Cherky as well.
I'm looking at the subs bench, and Cherky, Grealish, Marmoush, really the only attacking options on there. And at the moment, I don't see, apart from maybe Ryan Cherky, who had a brilliant season last year, as anyone who could actually make a difference. Grealish done well at Everton last season. Marmoush does well when he comes in, but usually only plays in cup competitions against weaker opposition. I really do think this is City's strongest front four out there at the minute.
Yes, maybe, and City have just won a corner from good play from Semenyo down the right hand side. David Weber, score man, should on him as Phil Foden goes across to take this. He was and Diaz on him there. The man has gone down, but they've been retaking this corner kick. And Man City is a man who's gone down there. Yes, Paul just said to me the Arsenal second goal seems to be credited to Kai Havertz as he stands. You can see the upcoming fixtures there to the 17th of October with who each team have got. Just a reminder, anything after the 19th of September yet to be finalised for TV. As it stands right now, some of those games could get moved for television purposes as well. Some of them have already been moved for television purposes already. Ball in for Man City this time from the corner, cleared away. As it breaks now for Anderson, and Foden now has it. Foden will look to deliver the ball into the penalty area. He does so, just over the head of everybody and behind for a goal kick. There, Foden shouted something to his players. There wasn't alert there as he put the ball in. It looks like he may have took a slight deflection off Calafiori's boot. Gabriel just missed it.
Russ.
And he's gone behind for a goal kick when he could have been a corner there to Manchester City again.
Yeah, and I think what Phil Foden's unhappy about is there's no one making a run. We know Foden can deliver, and there's just no one taking a gamble at the far post, getting in there. You couldn't have asked for a better ball.
Yeah, and you'd be thinking a player of Haaland's quality can see that ball coming in, Dan, and you'd be thinking, oh, you can see what Foden's going to do, or you should know what Foden's going to do because they've probably done it in training. So you should be knowing where that ball's going to be. So you should be anticipating the ball going in rather than leaving it and not making an attempt for it. Because Haaland didn't look like he made an attempt for those. So let's flicks it on with nobody in the
Even Jeremy Doku as the left winger coming in at the far post. That would have been ideal if he was running in behind Gabriel there. that'd have been right on his head. Raya coming for it, nowhere near it. That would have been a great opportunity for Doku to get City back into the game.
Yes, and a free kick has been given here to Manchester City. Foul by Martin Odegaard, it seems. The foul by Ben White.
There's nothing in that.
50-50 challenge.
It weren't. Anything, I thought it was the other way.
Yeah, I thought you were 50-50 challenge, Dan. Maybe it could have gone either way. But look to again, should have gone to guys, but yes, Holland in behind. And guys over the top of the crossbar. I think he's took a deflection on the way. I think going for a corner here, is he? Or maybe gone out for a goal. Okay, let's just look at this again. Good play again from City. Working for Holland.
That's
And
just
bobbled over. Yeah, we just lost Dan there for a second. Are you back now with us? We appear to have lost Dan at this moment in time. We will try and get back to him in just a second or two as the ball sent forward by Buzanov out to play for a throw-in over there for Manchester City. But Arsenal defending well so far, Dan, coming into as we get into the final.
Yeah, well, I was a little bit worried. A little bit worried there with Arsenal playing out from the back, some dangerous looking passes, and it was cut out on the right wing. Luckily, nothing come of it. But yeah, so far so good defensively for Arsenal. Not totally convincing at the back.
Here comes Madweke though, Dan. Just break off for a moment as Madweke inside the penalty. Let's make it play, but it's saved by Donluigi Donnarumma. But the offside flag was up against Donny Madweke, so he wouldn't have counted. He just went a little bit too early there. A good ball again in behind, Dan. And this is what Arsenal can do against teams. Play ball over the top and get in behind so quickly.
I mean, Madawaki's got blistering pace, I think, and done very well. Just mistimed his run, went a bit early. But yeah, I think Arsenal, there has been a bit of a lack of concentration, lapses in concentration at the back. Fortunately, they haven't been punished yet. But that wouldn't please Arteta. But so far, the way the game is going, would.
Yes, absolutely. Dan, absolutely. It's Arsenal and Solis inside the penalty area. The overlap is Calafiori, who goes down. Free kick to Manchester City in the yellow card for Ricardo Calafiori for simulation by the Arsenal left back. He's trying to plead his innocence here. Let's just look at this again. Is this a penalty or is this an act of simulation? That is a simulation. That is a definite dive there from Ricardo Calafiori. And the Arsenal man now is on a tightrope for the left back.
He will be now.
What did you think for that, Dan? Did you think it was a great call there from Sam Barrett? Because I think he's calls that to make. He's done it spot on so far.
Live action angle, I thought it was a penalty. I've only seen one replay which didn't really show it that well. I'd like to see it again. But from the replay I did see, it did look like Calafiori was anticipating contact and started to go down a little bit early before contact was made. So yeah, I think you've got to give it to Mr. Barrett. He's actually had a very good game so far. I believe the referee. I think he's done very well.
Yeah, and Dan, so far, I'm touching wood as I'm saying this. Don't want to jinx things, but so far, he's been VAR quiet so far in this game.
It has. There's been no need for him to jump in there for Calafiori. The Gabriel one, as we see, the replay cleared that up instantly. So the two incidents where you think, mate, VAR may get involved. There's been no need for it to get involved.
Yes, Anderson with the ball in the penalty area. Dirk brings down on the far post. Holland shots cleared. And O'Reilly pushes up. No foul given as also look to clear the ball away. The City won the ball back. Is Foden in towards Semenyo. Give ball in. Doku over the top of the crossbar, deflected over by Ben White.
What a block from Ben White.
Fantastic piece of defending again from the
But
English right back.
that's the lapses in concentration or the poor decision making coming out from the back there, Arsenal. That should have been dealt with when Raya saved from Haaland, and then this Calafiore doesn't get the ball away and it comes back in, and Doku with a great opportunity, and Ben White with a fantastic block.
Yes. Ball into the penalty area, this time cleared away. Don't know what we were going to say there was City of possession just inside the Arsenal half, just towards halfway. We're coming forward again. Kovacic, low effort saved by David Raya.
But yeah, I think there's been a few hearts in mouth moments with Arsenal. A couple of them ones there trying to play out from the back, and a couple of others. And City haven't managed to capitalise on these yet. But if Arsenal continue to have these lapses in concentration and bad decision making playing out from the back, City will capitalise on one of them eventually.
Yes, it's Arsenal trying to dial from the back again. Raya.
4v4 here, Russ.
Yes, picking out to teammate there, and here comes Arsenal now with Noliman Weke. Edge of the penalty, Manweke goes for goal. He really should have played back into Christoph Solitz there. The poor effort, missed effort, put down on the goalkeeper's throat as he throws out quickly to Nico O'Reilly from Gianluigi Donnarumma. Good save from him, but
yeah, I think that's Arsenal's first shot on target they ain't scored with.
Worse than 3 shots on target, 2 goals.
Yeah. Oh, I suppose you can't score them all, can you?
No. Maybe Arsenal want to try and save. Maybe Arsenal need to save up some goals for Coventry, the game against Coventry City
next week. Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, a goal feast. But never write off these newly promoted clubs. Look at Sunderland last season. Fantastic job.
Yes, here they come now to Arsenal with Ben White. Will control from the Arsenal right back. As he will look to come forward. Here's Martin Odegaard to Bruno Guimaraes. Ball played forward, cleared away. Only towards Noliman Weke from Joshua Vardiol. Weke. Ball down the line for Ben White. Into the penalty area. Calafiore just over the top of the crossbar. Decent effort there from Calafiore down, but just going to keep his effort down as Arsenal go in search for that third goal.
That was a good effort. Good cross from Ben White there. Clipped in, and Calafiore coming in well at the far post. I'm just trying to I didn't see if it was Vardiol or Diaz, but Ben White's cross just clearing them. Perfect for Calafiore. Just couldn't keep it down.
Yes, really should have done. Probably should have known it could be better keeping his effort down. So let's try to nip in, but can't keep the ball in play. Down that far side. It's Arsenal 2, Man City 0. As we come towards the end of this first half in the Principality Stadium here in Cardiff for this FA Community Shield. It's Arsenal who are leading by 2-0 thanks to Ricardo Calafiore's 25-second strike, followed by Kai Havertz's goal on 28 minutes. Here comes Jeremy Doku towards the penalty area. It's cleared away and it goes behind for Manchester City corner off of Christian Mosquera, and good piece of defending once again.
I think he's been very good so far in this first half, Mosquera. He's read the game well. He's outpaced Haaland, although he did have a bit of a head start. I think he's been very impressive so far.
Yes, Elliot Anderson to this set piece. It's the fourth corner for Manchester City. Arsenal have had 2 so far. City will give Arsenal a taste of their own medicine from the set piece. No, as was a foul in there on Christian Mosquera.
He's won a couple of free kicks, Mosquera, at these corners, Man City corners.
He has, and Gabriel Christian Mosquera's done well at the back for Arsenal as they will send this ball forward as we enter the final minute plus whatever minute that gets added on in terms of stoppage time, just to stop actual added time will be 30 seconds per goal. So we should have at least a minute, which any other how the referee decides to add on for this game. Here is Vernon who sends the ball forward. Picked up here by Gabriel to Bruno Guimaraes. The ball forward to Lewis Skelly. Odegaard. Just can't get Kai Havertz away. That would have been a perfect ball through for the German to go and potentially score a third as we go to stoppage time here. Just trying to work to see how many minutes will be given. No confirmation as of yet in terms of stoppage time.
I think we might have one, Russ.
Yes, 1 minute added time is just confirmed. Ball towards Kai Havertz. Across there. Odegaard! Cleared off the line. Havertz. Bruno Guimaraes. Ball back in. Cleared away. And there is the ball cleared away for Arsenal.
Great opportunity for a third there. They just couldn't get any power behind the effort. City, lots of players in front of the ball, blocking the goal.
Yes, City will the ball back in now. Anderson will come forward for them. We'll just keep another possession. City will try and count down to half time as we've played in 1 minute. And there is the half time whistle at the end of this first period of the Community Shield, and Arsenal lead here by 2 goals. So as we just see the effort cleared off the line by Ruben Diaz. But Arsenal took the lead after just 25 seconds through Ricardo Calafiore before Kai Havertz double lead on 28 minutes. It's Arsenal lead by 2 goals to 0 at the end of this first half. But before we go for a break, Dan, just give us your first half assessment.
Well, Ricardo Calafiore certainly likes getting the first goal of the season for Arsenal, doesn't he? And likes getting it early, like last season against United, this season against City. Other than that, I think it's been a very even first half for us. I mean, City have probably just shaded possession. Arsenal a little bit more clinical in front of goal. I think the Arsenal defence have dealt with the City attack very well. It's been a fantastic battle in midfield. So far, it's been an entertaining and a thrilling game to watch so far, Russ. And I look forward to seeing much of the same in the second half.
Yes, and let's just, before we go for a break at half time, let's just tell you what the scores are in the Championship from the matches that are taking place today. There's one full-time result and one kicks off at 4:30. So the game today finished Watford 2, Southampton 1. You can see all the other results from the matches there on your screen. And just to tell you as well, tomorrow night's match is Cardiff against Wrexham. Burnley West Ham kicking off in near around about 7 minutes time there as well. But there is the scores from the Championship. There is they've got their season off and underway. So Watford with that victory over Southampton sit in 7th place in the table. Right, without further ado, I'm going to me and Dan are going to go for a break, and we'll be back with the second half action coming up shortly here on the Comment Job. Don't go anywhere. welcome back to the TCHub's coverage of the FA Community Shield, where Arsenal leading here by 2-0 against Manchester City. Thanks to goals from Ricardo Calafiori and Kai Havertz. We did see that the goal was given to Kai Havertz. We did notice that it could be given against. There's an own goal as well. We will double check. But so far, we haven't got confirmation it's gone to Kai Havertz. I did say, well, you know, if he did change at all, and we're just looking here, and it's still being given to Kai Havertz as he stands right now. So, any update on that, we will let you know. It's already started in the other game in the Championship, where Burnley is currently 0-0 with West Ham United. We're just waiting the start of the second half in this game here between Arsenal and Manchester City. I've got Dan Money alongside me. And Dan, when you look at that game, obviously Mikel Arteta would be happy with the two sides going in at half time. But what do you think Maresca will be saying to his side moving forward? And how do you think? Would you think he won better of it? Do you think we could see Jack Grealish sooner rather than later for Manchester City?
I'm just seeing Jack Grealish warming up at half time. He's been given some instructions. He's been sent back down the tunnel, so maybe he is coming on imminently. But I think what City Maresca will be saying to City is you move it faster forward, get it forward faster, get the ball into the box quicker. More players make the run into the box. As we've seen some good build-up play from City around the box, but just nothing when it comes in. That ball from Foden curled in towards the far post. I mean, it cleared all the Arsenal players, and if someone was coming in at the back post, I'm sure that would have been a certain goal. So there is signs of promise for City. But I think that when they're around the Arsenal 18-yard box, they've got to move the ball quicker. They've got to switch it up, deliver the balls into the box quicker. And yes, I think that's what is needed from City.
Yes, it looks like there's going to be a change for Manchester City. And the aforementioned Jack Grealish will be about to come on here for the citizens at the start of the second half. The Arsenal players coming back out like Declan Rice is going to make his first appearance here. The City change sees Jeremy Doku replaced by Jack Grealish at the start of the second half. And let's just see who is replaced for Declan Rice to come on here. As we'll look at this in a second, see who's going to be there. We can see Jack Grealish on for Manchester City confirmation. There, just wait to see who comes on, who Declan Rice has come on for Arsenal. And I can tell you that it is the new signing, Bruno Guimaraes, who makes way for Declan Rice. There, Dan, do you think that's a plan change from Arsenal?
I do think that's a plan change. Obviously, Declan Rice needs minutes. So does Guimaraes. I think this would have been discussed before the game, 45 minutes each. And it looked like City were preparing to take off Vardiel as well when I was watching the half-time, the teams just before they come out. But it looks like Vardiel's staying on.
Yeah, Vardiel's still out there at this moment in time as the City will get us back off and underway. And now we are back underway for the start of the second half. We've done a run of just playing the ball long downfield after being knocked the ball back to him by Phil Foden at the start of the second half. There's the aforementioned Vardiel, but Kai Havertz is fouled, but Havertz come back from an offside position. So the free kick will go the way of Manchester City. Let's just run you through the sides then. So for Arsenal, it's David Raya, Ben White, Christian Mascara, Gabriel, Ricardo Calafiori, Declan Rice, Matheus Lewis-Skelly, Noni Madueke, Martin Odegaard, Christoph Solis, Kai Havertz. For Manchester City, we have got Donnarumma, Kuzanov, Diaz, Vardiel, O'Reilly, Kovacic, Anderson, Semenyo, Foden, Grealish, and Haaland at the start of the second half. Referee Stanley, just to remind you, is Sam Barrett. Ball is played forward here in Arsenal with catching City offside there. There's Jeremy Doku back, just going back out onto the bench. So to his He's got a bit of ice pack on him there, Bruno Guimaraes. So maybe he's picked up a knock rather than a planned change from Mikel Arteta. Maybe he's picked up a knock there, Bruno Guimaraes. Ice pack on around about his calf area. So
you don't want players picking up injuries in this game, Russ. That's one thing I'd say. For either side.
Yes, absolutely, Danny. So Bruno Guimaraes may have done with that ice pack on there, or may have just been took off as a precautionary measure. As we watch this game, took their possession back. Body on now to Diaz. Do you think it'd be more of a precaution with the Premier League season just 5 or so days away for Arsenal? Dan, do you think it's a precautionary measure, that one?
Hopefully, Russ. Hopefully. I mean, what we must remember as well, some of these players haven't played a lot of football or played any changes.
Here's Solis into the penalty area. It's Martin Odegaard. 3-0 Arsenal.
What a goal. And again, what a start to the half.
Good start to the second half for Arsenal. And that's what everyone wanting. And that's what Mikel Arteta would have said to his troops. Go out, get another goal, get another goal, kill this game. And my oh my, Arsenal have just sublime. They've just said, Ross will do that. And look at the face of Erling Haaland there. He's not in happy bunny. And why would you be with your team losing 3-0? Just look at this. Ball into Christoph Solis is high. Perfectly well played. Martin Odegaard onside as well. Sits down Gianluigi Donnarumma and then just rolls it into the empty net. That's left there for him to do so. And Arsenal now 3 goals up and 3 goals to the good. Dan, and fantastic bit of play again from Arsenal at the start of the second half.
A great move. Solis again, very impressive. Odegaard, I mean, he sat 2 City players down there, Gvardiol and Donnarumma. And this is, Arsenal fans might be looking at this and can be considering this much easier so far than what they expected. 3-0 up, I mean, they don't always flatter sides. I don't think City deserve to be 3 down. Arsenal are playing very, very well, and it's certainly very enjoyable for the Arsenal fans, I must say.
Yes, there's Phil Foden. Good piece of control there from the Englishman. Then in the number 10 role today for Manchester City. Now into Cousinov. Good ball into Semenyo. Semenyo will look to deliver the ball in. Haaland looks to flick it on. It's everywhere by Ben White, who stuck out to the Norwegian as Elliot Anderson brings it down on his thigh and then fires over the top of the crossbar. And Dan, do you think this is what Mikel Arteta would have expected? He started to play like today the way they have, or do you think he would have ever expected a tougher test, not knowing how Maresca and City were going to play against?
I must say this for Maresca. During his time at Chelsea, I considered him a big game manager. He always seemed to pull out a result for Chelsea against the bigger sides when Chelsea weren't expected to get a result. I think with City, you know, the expectation is they're always going to win. So maybe the big game manager he was at Chelsea, he may not be at City. As for Arteta, I think he would have been a fantasy world thinking he'd be 3-0 up after 48 minutes. I mean, I don't think anyone would have expected this scoreline at this time of the game. It really has been a professional display for Arsenal, taking their chances when they come along. They've missed some as well. But City, in and around the box, it's not the City we're used to. Haaland's had that one chance that he blasted over and the save from Raya. But yeah, City haven't really been the City I expected in an attacking sense today.
Yes, and it looks as though Man City there was getting Mark Gay ready to come on in a moment. So maybe with that third goal going in, he wants to bring on a bit more stability at the back, because in the build-up to this game, Enzo Maresca was talking about people with Caesar's leaders and leadership qualities within his City side, and he mentioned Erling Haaland, mentioned Ruben Diaz, who's got the armband. Another one he mentioned was Mark Gay, as well. Maybe those three are his leadership team, and maybe once he's with the third of that leadership team to be on the pitch to help this City side out and help the defence out. But he's City at the other end with Semenyo in towards Haaland, breaks towards Nico O'Reilly. Odegaard is bad there defending. Clears it back to O'Reilly, sends it long downfield. Vardy lets it forward into the path there of Kovacic. Until Kovacic will run forward. He finds Cousinov, who's got up from right back, into the path of Semenyo, who's a bit further in front of him down the right hand side. Kovacic has it back inside the middle of Arsenal's half, about 25 yards away from goal. Now with Jack Grealish, first experience from Manchester in quite a while. Grealish will look to get the ball into the penalty areas. Kovacic trying to help him do that. Cousinov gets it back there to Diaz, the captain. Now it's Semenyo in field towards Vernon, giving away as Odegaard will find Kai Havertz. Havertz goes down on the challenge of Vardy, and the free kick was taken far too quickly as the ball was moving, and a yellow card is being shown here too. I believe it's Josko Vardiol for the challenge there, and Josko Vardiol it is who gets the yellow card for the challenge on Kai Havertz, and a yellow card for the Man City defender there. Mike says, I've decided I like Solis, class player. And Dan, he did say in your comment that he reckons City do deserve to be 3 down, and in his opinion there should be really more than the 3 goals down, as Erling Haaland is being replaced by Omar Mamouche.
I just see the comments from Mike.
And Morgan is on as well for Nico O'Reilly. So Josko Vardiol will move across to left back, O'Reilly alongside Diaz, and Haaland field for Omar Mamouche to try to get back into this game. And maybe the change for Haaland because he's had much joy as people would probably expect him to against this Arsenal backline.
And I think Mamouche will he'll look to get the ball more, but he'll come out to the wings. He'll come a lot deeper. I know we've seen Haaland doing that a lot more last season. I thought he had an exceptional season last season, Erling Haaland, all round, not just with the goals. But I do think Mamouche he can interchange a lot more with players down the flanks. And I think maybe that's what Maresca's looking for now, trying to mix it up.
Yes, probably Dan, and probably right there as well. Probably trying to mix things up a little bit and try and get everything sorted in that.
Now,
in terms of that respect.
I read yesterday that, each club can have 9 substitutes named on the bench, and they're allowed to make 6 subs during the game. And now that's 3 subs City have used, which means they've got 3 left.
Here comes City edge of the penalty area. Jack Grealish does well inside the penalty area. Grealish continues, loses out to Odegaard, tries to get the ball back from Odegaard. Elliot Anderson nips in against the Norwegian and wins and gives away a free kick. Anderson not happy, Foden not happy. Odegaard straight back up. Anderson and Foden having a word with Sam Barrety. Let's look at this. And that, it could have been on another day, that could have been a red card for Lewis Skelly for the stamp on.
That to me would have been silly. I mean, he's won the ball, and that's
in that moment. Here comes Jack Grealish, the Manchester City edge of the penalty area for Foden. Now here is Anderson, whose effort is saved by David Ray, but Miles Lewis Skelly could have seen red there for the stamp there on Elliot Anderson, which is what I think City players were complaining about.
They have a right to complain, but I think if that was a red card, it would have been harsh. He won the ball, and then obviously that's just where his foot's landed. It did seem to land quite hard on Elliot Anderson, but it's just one of them things, isn't it? You win a challenge.
I think it's because Dan is normally you get those sort of challenges, you're normally penalised for the follow through, and that's what happened there with Miles Lewis Skelly. I feel he followed through on Anderson. I think he could have pulled out front with his other foot, which is running with one foot, which is ready to win, and he's coming in with his other foot onto his ankle. I think that's what the players were complaining about, rather than the actual challenge, rather than if he wins the ball with his other foot, then challenges him with the opposite one. So I think that's where the complaints were about. As here comes Havertz now for Arsenal. Loses out to Chris.
Maybe with my comments, you know what side I want to win.
Yeah. With Dan, I've got to remind you, please be neutral if you can.
I am trying. And I'm saying with Gehi being part of this City leadership group, he was the captain at Crystal Palace at one point, wasn't he, Mark Gehi?
He was, yes.
Yeah, so you'd expect that the leadership qualities he showed at Palace to be carried on here at City.
Yes, here is Vardio. Edge of the penalty is Foden. Ball shot there by Foden. And now it's Arsenal just with Solids just keeping the ball in play and sending it forward, where we've been returning back towards the Arsenal goal. City have got possession back. Well, the ball has gone straight out of play. City had a throw in, that's why the ball went out of play before Solids could keep the ball in play.
I thought he kept that in there.
Well, like he kept it to me as well, Dan, but according to the officials, I'll say are a lot closer than we are, Dan, so the ball go out of play.
Yeah, I'll trust them on this one, Russ.
Yeah. And Michael's just put a comment in the chat there. It says he's just seen a post with someone saying City have accidentally named Donna Summer in goal instead of Donnarumma. I think he's played a bit like Donna Summer, to be fair, Mike. But he's not usually up to his usual self. He's Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal for Man City today. Dan, I don't think he's been that good today. To be fair, considering
he might not feel the love later. Donnarumma from City.
Yes, here comes Manchester City now. Can they get a goal back here to try and swing the pendulum in their favour? Vernon will try and help them do that by picking out Jack Grealish with a wonderful pass to the fellow Englishman. Back it goes to Gaiety, who's up front on the left hand side. Ball into the penalty, headed towards goal. And Josko Vardiol behind for a goal kick. And City claiming that should have been a corner. And Vardiol with an angry face, like he was about to strangle somebody there.
He certainly weren't happy, and I thought it was a corner. I thought that come off of was it Mascara or Gabriel? I thought it come off their shoulder.
Yeah, City making another change here now. It looks like. Well, another two changes. Phil Foden is coming off, replaced by Ryan Cherky for change number 1. And then Elliot Anderson is being replaced by Rico Lewis as well, which is a bit bizarre. One, Rico Lewis, the left back by trade, coming on in the defensive mid by a fullback by trade. She can play on the right as well, Rico Lewis. As Arsenal's goal scorer of the first goal, Ricardo Calafiore, looks like he's making way off of the field. And coming on is Piero Incapié for the Arsenal left back. And Bukayo Saka is also on the field as well, Dan. We'll get to your point in a second. Just trying to see who's come on for Bukayo Saka.
I'm guessing Madueke.
I'm thinking it is running Madueke as well. We'll do the confirmation of that in just a second. Putting Anderson off for City to be replaced by Cherky and Lewis, as he is now Lewis Skelly for Arsenal. And confirmation of the Arsenal's substitutions of Piero Incapié, Ricardo Calafiore, and Noni Madueke coming off for Bukayo Saka. In the Championship, incidentally, for anybody listening, we played 22 minutes there, Dan, between Burnley and West Ham. Would you like to have a guess of who's took the lead in that game so far?
Right, I would expect West Ham, but Burnley being probably one of the greatest Championship teams ever, I'm going to go Burnley.
Yeah, you should have gone with the first thing you said, West Ham. It's Burnley knew West Ham won. Max Kuhlman scored on 10 minutes, assisted by Jared Bowen.
Oh, they've done well to keep hold of Jared Bowen.
They have
probably have the Dyers to thank for that. Both Dannies.
Yes, City have the ball back with Gianluigi Donnarumma.
I mean, Max Kuhlman, he's got to be he's got to be coming up to 40, hasn't he?
I think there or thereabouts, but yes. Well, Max Kuhlman has been around a bit, played for Wolves before joining West Ham United.
I
was
thought
Rico
he was
also for Man City.
a very good
Now
defender at Wolves, he was.
He was then, yes. But now Arsenal back into our featured game here now as Kai Havertz just gives the ball to Nkapie. Now with Zolis, who has bright his spell there. And Dan, I'm going to put this on you now so you can be thinking about it. In around about 20 minutes or so, about 70, on the 75th minute, so less than 15 minutes now, Dan. I would like you to, between now and then, have a think of who's going to be your player of the match today, and then pop it in the chat, private chat, for our producer Paul to get ready. We'll announce that around about the 85th, between the 85th and the 90th minute. Our player of the match is Arsenal will look to come forward with Bukayo Saka. Does well against Vardy Saka. Saka in the penalty. Saka shoots towards goal and behind for a goal kick. Probably should have pulled it back there for Kai Havertz. But Arsenal coming close again for goal number 4 in this game.
Good little play there to get that move going from Odegaard.
Yeah, initially by Rice to Odegaard. Bowen played out wide. Because Saka did well to rob Roscoe Vardy, and if he just pulls it back here to Kai Havertz, it could have been 4 to Arsenal, but he decides to go for the goal and beat it.
Very, very difficult angle to score from there for Saka, especially with the right foot. You know, you've always run the risk of dragging it when you're using your what was it, left foot, right foot. He did exactly what I thought he would do, and let's drag it wide of the near post.
Yes, as here comes the penalty, rolling toward the penalty for Manchester City, but David Reyes easily to put his hat on and put it on him to claim. There, the ball is played forward now for Arsenal, and Kai Havertz has done well to hold up the play. Havertz has gone down, no free kick given for a foul on the German, according to the referee. City just win possession back and will try and come forward here now. It'd be interesting. Now, what have you made to Manchester City today? Because, yeah, they've had chances, but they've not been able to make him count. But they have looked good going forward. It's just defensively where they've been a bit weak, you'd have to say, under Maresca so far.
Today they they haven't met the standards that have previously been set defensively. Cut wide open for the first goal. Donnarumma should have done a hell of a lot better than he did for the second goal. And then again, cut wide open again, and 2 City players being put on their bottoms by Odegaard before slotting into practically an open goal. But obviously it's still pre-season, a lot of fine-tuning, but City have not played the way I expected them to. Kusanov, I thought he was outstanding in the League Cup final against Arsenal. He hasn't looked anything near that player, like that player today. Vardy, Diaz, O'Reilly, they just haven't looked as good as what they did last season. And Arsenal looking like they've just picked up from where the season ended last year and the pre-season, where they've had mixed fortunes, mixed results, have been pushed away from their mind and out of and off the pitch, and they've started very strongly and played very well, Arsenal.
Yes, Arsenal in pre-season, after the champ, they've beat Girona 4-1, lost to Real Betis 3-1, lost on penalties to Borussia Dortmund, but won on penalties against Borussia Dortmund, but won 3-2, and then drew with Como, but won on penalties before taking on Manchester City today in this Community Shield. Up next for Arsenal is a game against Coventry City before the trip to Villa Park, and then a game against Chelsea, and then a game against Sunderland for them, taken to the 12th of September. Man City, incidentally, City tries to come forward now, but picked off by Declan Rice, and not missed much here as City just tried to come forward there. Man City's results so far in pre-season, they've been a 1-1 draw with Inter, but then they lost on penalties, beat K-League All-Stars 3-1, and beat Atletico Madrid 3-1 before this game today against Arsenal, where they're currently losing 3-0 there. First few games, they've got Bournemouth at home, Palace away, Coventry at home, before the Manchester derby on the 13th of September. Man United against Manchester City. What a game that's going to be, Dan.
Yes, it will be. And going back to the pre-seasons, I watched a bit of the Man City versus Atletico Madrid game, and the first half I mainly watched. City was so dominant, and then they went behind to Atletico Madrid, and it's that sort of dominance and performance in that first half that I was kind of expecting to see from City today, and it just hasn't happened, has it? It
hasn't happened at all, Dan. And I saw some of their games as well. I saw the game that the City had against the K-League All-Stars, and that was a dominant performance. I saw the game against Inter as well, and they played well up until the penalties, but then the penalties didn't really come about as much. But being a good game, this one for if you're an Arsenal fan, but if you're a City fan, not so good in terms of goals that have happened as we watch this game unfold today. Arsenal 3, Man City 0. The ball now with Arsenal. They are just keeping a lot of possession. Arsenal just going to play out from the back, and almost heart and mouth stuff there for the Arsenal fans and players. But City have won a throw right by the corner flag down there, right hand side, down Arsenal's left. Semenyo takes it. Looks like he's had his shirt rib there.
Yeah, Semenyo.
He's not been told to change it yet by the match officials. I thought he might have done. Be interesting to see how this game goes here today. The rest of this game goes today. 60 minutes gone. Arsenal 3, City 0. Man City 0, that is. And Dan, I'm just wanting to try and get your thoughts off. We've not really seen this rule yet. What do you think about this rule where we'll break up for a minute and I'll ask you that question in a moment. City have still got possession trying to come forward here. Manchester City. As they will try and find an opening. Semenyo finds Cherky, will look to try and help the opening arriving. City have not really, Motion's not really had much try either against this Arsenal backline, has he, Dan, again, like early on, and then we'll come to the other question in a moment. After this attack from City, the ball pulled back and Arsenal with the ball away. The question I was going to ask you, Dan, and we're not seeing it in this game. What do you make about the new ruling where if a goalkeeper goes down and is not a genuine injury, where the manager or head coach, whatever you want to call these two managers of the titles, have got to nominate a player, an outfield player, to go off for a minute? What do you make to that rule? Do you think we'll see that clamp? Do you think we'll see that as soon as that starts happening? Do you think it'll clamp down on the goalkeeper's time wasting or using the tactical advantage as they did majority of last season? Dan, do you think that could be in addition to the ruling?
I think how are you going to define if it's a serious injury or not? These people are finely tuned athletes, and sometimes just the slightest of knock can really hurt, especially if it's in the wrong place, the wrong type of conduct.
Just break up for me, Dennis Solis inside the penalty area. Saka now back to Odegaard, in towards the penalty area. White, ball back in, Solis can't get it. Lewis Skelly count. Cleared away by Grealish to Lewis Skelly, but the ball had gone out for a goal kick in the end there. But good bit of play again from Arsenal. What do you make of this play there, Dan, from Arsenal, and get back to your point?
Yeah, good play, but again, they've just caught offside, aren't they, Arsenal? Bit of ball watching there, not looking across the line. So back to your question, Russ, is how do you know if an injury is serious? And I think 60 seconds is far too long in a game of football. And how long does the manager get to choose to nominate a player? Is that going to be timed as well?
I'm not sure if that's going to be timed. I think the referee, I'm wondering whether the match referee, before the kick-off and again the teams get put in, I don't know for definite, so don't quote me on this, Dan, but I'm thinking the player will have to be told to the manager before the game starts. So say, for example, I'm going to use, let's just say, Kai Havertz, for example, also say Kai Havertz, and they say if he's not on the pitch, he will transfer to the player will come on for that player. I don't know if that's how it's going to work, or whether we've got to do it there and then by calling one of the players over, stand on the side of the pitch, when the play gets resumed. As Zolis is now coming forward and he's got Saka away, and Bukayo Saka's in behind you. Bukayo Saka, good save from Donnarumma, and it's cleared away by Manchester City.
I mean, I think the example you've given there, Russ, would make perfect sense. If your goalie goes down injured and you've got to sacrifice a player for a minute, you probably don't want the defence or the midfield being disrupted. So you probably would go with your forward. And seeing as a lot of clubs now play with a lone striker and 3 behind, it'll probably be the lone striker who's nominated to go off for 60 seconds.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that does happen, how it will happen, because I've not seen it in action yet this season, as the ball just stayed in play there down that, as the ball trickled down the line from Arsenal, with Ben White playing it down that right-hand side with Saka and the other men in red. I mean, get there. I
do believe that role was... Sorry, Russ.
Jack Grealish now with possession in towards the penalty area, headed backwards. Vardiol. We'll play this from Vardiol back to Jack Grealish again. Into the penalty area now is Ryan Cherky, turns. Strike! Saved by David Raya. Good save from the Spaniard.
Good
Comes
save.
out to Semenyo.
Great save.
Back now to Kuzanov. City still coming forward. A bit of movement here now from Manchester City. They will try and get at least a consolation goal in this game. Also trying to protect the lead. And he's gone through, but too much on that, and Gary Redpick collects possession. What were you going to say, Dan?
I can't remember us.
Also about to make a double change here, Dan. We just went to see who coming on for him, which is a Victor Gyökeres and Martin Zubimendi. Maybe the 2 players to come on here for us. We'll get confirmation of those in a minute or two when we do get confirmation of the 2 players coming on. But Dan, what I want us to talk about now is we've seen this game today. We've played 73 minutes. I'm touching wood again because I don't want to speak too soon. But the referee and the officials on field have had a fantastic game where we've not had to go and see or speak or hear from the 3-letter word of video assistant referee and his assistant as well. So what have you made to Sam Barrett's performance 74 minutes into this match?
Oh, he's not man of the match at the minute, Russ. No, I think he's been really good. He's let the game flow. He's obviously had to blow up here and there when there has been free kicks, yellow cards. We haven't seen an abundance of yellow cards. I think the yellow cards he has dished out deserved.
Yes,
right yellow card.
Victor Gyökeres is coming on for the goal scorer of Arsenal's second goal in Kai Havertz. Fantastic goal from Kai Havertz. Good headed back to where it come from. Donnarumma should have done a bit better. So Kai Havertz is
Skelly.
Victor Gyökeres and Lewis Skelly was done well in that defensive midfield role today, replaced by Martin Zubimendi as well. So, well, Dan, what have you made to? Going to continue your point about Sam Barrett? He's let the game go, hasn't he? He's just let it flow. He's pulled it back where he's had 2 yellow cards that have been handed out, rightly so, deserved. He's had a brilliant game today, the referee, and he's right up there with my pick for man of the match. I've got to be honest. As the rule about the goalie going down and the player being nominated to go off, I do believe this was in play at the World Cup, although I don't recall it happening at the World Cup either. Yeah, he went to the... And yes, you're right, he was put into the World Cup rules, but he was never enforced at the World Cup. And I think that's because the goalkeepers know not to do that and not to go down as far as they were last season. Majority of the times in games I saw where goalkeepers went down, and not just saying this because the team against the team I played for was majority of some of the Leeds United games. It all started. Dan, I don't know if you recall this. Leeds were playing Man City at the Etihad last season when we started with a back ball and changed to the back and got back into the game. And the Man in the City goal, Donnarumma, went down on that occasion. And then that's where it all come from, these tactical timeouts. And then Rob Sanchez did it in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley last season as well against Leeds. One of the more goalkeepers doing it against Leeds when Leeds were on top to change momentum for their team to get back into it. So I think that's where, because Leeds complained to the FA and to the match officials, I think that's where the change in the rule has been brought in for, because of the complaints from Leeds, from teams doing it against their Manchester Palace as well. It is Rico Lewis trying to get in behind there. It's gone behind for a corner kick to Manchester City here.
I mean, I think, with all these rules brought in at the World Cup to reduce the time wasting and the delaying in corners and throw-ins, I think it actually worked very well and probably helped make the World Cup as enjoyable as it was. I know it's a World Cup and a lot of people are going to enjoy it anyway, but it certainly seemed that the ball was in play a lot longer at the World Cup than it had been in some of the Premier League games last year.
Yes, absolutely. There's Roscoe Vardio just stayed down there for Man City at the moment. He's now getting back up to his feet. As now we will watch this move, see what comes next. And Dan, very, very soon, if you could, in the chat that we've got, the one between all three of us on the coverage today, please send over your player of the match to Paul when you get a moment. City just win possession with Rico Lewis. Good ball infield, he goes there now to Mateo Kovacic. Switcher play, but too much on that, and goes straight to the fourth official, Barry Elam, who grabs hold of the ball ready to pass over to Arsenal's Ben White. There's Kovacic makes way for Manchester City. Replaced by Nico Gonzalez. So, have you got an idea of who your player of the match is going to be, Dan?
I've got two in mind, and I've taken out Samuel Barrett. So it's between one or two, between two players. And I've just seen Paul ask for it, so I'm going to.
Yes, here comes David Webb for Arsenal. Just keeping all the possession from Mascara. He sends the ball led forward to Gonzalez. Now it's Bukayo Saka. As well there, Saka to hold up the play well. Odegaard into Declan Rice. Now Declan Rice is coming forward into Piero Hincapié. A bit of play there. Hincapié ball hits over the crossbar by Bukayo Saka. And that really, Dan, should be 4-0 to Arsenal.
That should, Russ. That was a great little ball in. Perfect for Saka. Just got under it a little bit. Did Donnarumma get a fingertip to it? No. But that was
a decent. So that should have been
great
4.
move again down the left.
Yeah, and this is an Arsenal's joy, Dan. I don't know, from what I've seen in this game, I don't know whether you agree. Arsenal's joy has been down their left. Man City's right in this game. They're targeting Kuznetsov, and because they know that Kuznetsov is not a right back, he's a centre back by trade. So I think that's why Arsenal are utilising their left quite often. And if he continues to play that, I can see teams targeting Man City's right hand side in terms of where they can potentially get the joy out of it. Kuznetsov stays there. Maybe he brings back in Mateus Nunes, who has played there. City come forward now with Cherky into the penalty area. Antoine Semenyo, shot saved well by David Webb, and Ben White clears the ball away.
I'm surprised that Mateus Nunes hasn't been given minutes or a run out today at right back. I mean, he was outstanding for City at right back last season. I know he's a centre midfielder by trade, but he played very well at right back last season, and you would think on his performances last season he'd be first choice right back for this season, but and that is why I'm surprised we haven't seen him come on at some point in this game and play it right back, especially with City going behind so early, 2-0 down at half time, and Kusanov has struggled at times today.
Yes, Vardyal can't get behind there. So tried to play him in down the left-hand side. It was from Mateo Kovacic's pass. And Dan, I've just seen who you've given your player of the match to in the chat, and you just go up on the screen that your choice is one of the 3 contenders from the TV candidates on the screen, Dan. So you've got a good choice there, Dan. But I totally agree with your choice there as well. But I'm not going to say who it is just yet. We'll get to that very, very soon.
Right, so my second choice hasn't appeared and he's no longer on the pitch, but my other option, or one of my other players under consideration, was Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think he's played fantastically well in the centre of the park today. He got the assist in the opening minutes with a great ball through for Calafiore. I think he's been outstanding today. But he has just been picked by another player to my man of the match.
Yes, as here comes Piero Hincapié. Good bit of control into Declan Rice, and good to see Declan Rice back and Bukayo Saka back out there after their exploits of the World Cup. Dan, the Saka and Rice have a bit more extra quality in that in the side in this second half, although the first half team that started, there was enough quality in there, but you can see the qualities that Rice and Saka do bring to this Arsenal squad, can't you?
You can. Saka had that shot earlier, maybe should have passed it instead of shooting. He had another little chance that just went over. He's looked very good since he's come on. Saka. Rice is also back in the midfield. Great engine. He's had a good second half, Declan Rice.
Yeah. Booking there for Martin Ødegaard. Foul on Jack Grealish as Grealish looked to get away from him, and that's the last action for Martin Ødegaard, who passes over the captain's armband to Bukayo Saka. As Martin Ødegaard is being replaced here now by another one of England's World Cup squad members, Eberechi Eze, comes on to replace the Arsenal captain, who got that third goal, which surely will have looked to have sealed the game today. So Bukayo Saka now takes over the captain's armband for Arsenal, with Eberechi Eze coming on to replace Martin Ødegaard, who was, you've got to say, Ødegaard was led by example today. Dan, not very often he did that last season for Arsenal, but in big games when he played, he did, and he's done that again today, led by example, and scored a wonderful goal to make it 3-0 as well, did Ødegaard, didn't he?
He's had a great game, Martin Ødegaard. Not as effective as we would all have hoped last year. I think the injuries played a big part on him having such a underwhelming season by his standards. But he has looked like he's getting back to his best today. It's been a very good performance.
Arsenal 3, Manchester City 0. If you're just tuning into us right now, we'll give you the half-time score of the game between Burnley and West Ham as soon as our match finishes here, in between the game finishing and the trophy presentation this evening. We will take a break as well before the trophy presentation does start as well. And while the ball's out of play for an Arsenal goal kick, and they're just taking it now quickly as Declan Rice now has possession from Piero Hincapié's pass. Rice gets the ball back into Hincapié, and also just knocking the ball down well, but Hincapié runs the ball out of play. Rico Lewis takes a point quickly to Semenyo, back to Lewis again. Semenyo once more. Here's Kusanov now, as much as though City have gone to since Rico Lewis come on, went to a back 3 years. He's on moved across with Gay and Diaz in the centre, Kusanov on the right, Gay on the left, Rico Lewis and Joshua Vardyal as the wing backs, it looks like now, for Manchester City. As here's Ryan Cherky, who goes down free kick to the citizens.
Look at the City fans are leaving in their droves.
Yeah, and Dan, while we wait for this free kick, with 4 minutes to go, would you like to give us your player of the match today and explain your reasoning behind the player of the match.
Right, so I told you who just got pipped. Another player who I was under consideration was David Raya for his 4 or 5 saves that he's made in this game. But I think my man of the match for today is Christos Solis. I think he's been a constant threat and an outlet down the left-hand side for Arsenal. 2 assists, and I think he's just been absolutely outstanding today. And he really does look like he could have a promising career in the Premier League. And the reason why...
Then big half the minute to City take the free kick quickly, and he just headed away back to Ryan Cherky. So, going to explain the reasons behind Christos Solis getting your player of the match?
So the 2 assists, he's looked like he's been a constant outlet down up for Arsenal down the left. He's looked very good on the ball. He's created a couple of other chances, and I think for his first competitive game back in England, he's been absolutely outstanding, amazing. The only thing that would top it off would be a goal. Great performance from the young man.
Yes, today's player of the match was to Arsenal's number 17, Christos Solis. And now here they come, Arsenal trying to come forward. More gaze quicker of the two between him and Bukayo Saka. Both those were part of the England World Cup squad, which finished third, demolishing France in the first half of that third place playoff before France coming back in the game. What a fantastic game of football. Here comes Man City to try and come forward now towards the edge of the penalty area. Jack Grealish on the far side tries to run game to the penalty area. It's cleared away from Grealish and by Arsenal. Back to Grealish, who looks it out of play for a throw. Grealish acknowledges his errors there. But then how good has he been to see? I know he's went out on loan in that last season, but how good has it been to see Jack Grealish back in the Man City shirt and playing well for Man City today? Yes, not the end product Leicester fans will have wanted, but how good is it to see him back in the City shirt and back playing for City again after loans away from the Etihad in the last couple of seasons?
I was actually very surprised to see him go out on loan. I mean, he had that really...
Pick up from the Marmouche into the penalty area, and Arsenal managed to clear.
I mean, he had a fantastic season. I think it was the season before he went out on loan for City. So there's obviously something Pep see that he didn't like, or maybe it was the emergence of Jeremy Doku. But we do know that Grealish can be outstanding on his day. So let's hope, if he does stay at City for the remainder of the season, that he can get some games, he can get back to his best, and it will certainly make the Premier League a much more interesting, exciting competition if people like Jack Grealish are at their best and playing regularly.
Yes, absolutely. We're into the 30 seconds of this second half in what's been a good game overall. Rico Lewis just got Piero and Capio, who's won the ball this time, and now here comes Victor Gyökeres. Ball pass looking for the Bukayo Saka, and Margay nips in and brings the ball away. Up and over halfway into the final 10 seconds of the second half stoppage time. Edge of the penalty area now. It's Marmouche into Semenyo. Semenyo looks open, does well. Semenyo controlling the play well, and plus Semenyo does well. The penalty shot is blocked to Marmouche. Turns away into Ryan Cherky to the penalty. Cherky across, and City can't get the final touch to get the goal in here now. And I can tell you we have got 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game tonight. Final 3 minutes of the game before the winner will be crowned. When it looks like the winner's already crowned, it looks like it's going to be Arsenal. We played 90 seconds of that play now, and it's Arsenal 3, Man City 0, as Rico Lewis will look to come forward for the citizens. Here is Ryan Cherky. Good bit of good work here from Cherky. Keeps all the possession, finds Gay, back to Cherky again. All over the top here, wonderful bit of play. Marmouche does well. It goes down just Omar Mamouche, and the referee says free kick, foul up by Mascara. And will the Arsenal man go into the book here? I don't think he will. I think it's just a free kick.
I don't know what happened there. He certainly looks he's making a meal of this.
You're just trying to see, let's see if we can see what happens. We'll see it here, Dan. It's just
Well, he landed, I think.
He's landed on his side then, and that's what's hurt him the most. It was just a little push over by Mascara, but fantastic bit of play this from Mamouche initially to keep on the play, but then pushed over. And you can't do that. I'm surprised Mascara didn't pick up a yellow card there for the push, because I know sometimes officials would like to on the book plays for that, which when they raise their hands, like yes, is Reece is going to cross to take him Mamouche down on his haunches again here. The referee is coming across it to look at Mamouche.
Look, maybe go off, maybe leave the field if you're injured.
Mamouche staying on the field of play. He's back injured. We crouch down as Grealish sends this ball to the penalty, headed towards away from goal by Gabriel, cleared away by Arsenal. Victor Gyökeres is chasing after this one, and it's been Gianluigi Donnarumma under a bit of pressure. We can clear it away before the Swedish man gets towards him. Here is the Brazilian Gabriel, getting the ball over the top, looking for Victor Gyökeres, who is just in an offside position. Come out and claimed it well was Gianluigi Donnarumma, who was been beaten 3 times today in this game. But Arsenal 3-0 leaders against Manchester City. Here is Antoine Semenyo. Down the line it goes from Semenyo. It was the penalty area. It goes. Arsenal man goes down there. Ben Wild, the referee says free kick. But then the whistle is blown for full time. And Arsenal continue where they left off last season. They won the Premier League last season and missed out on the FA Cup and the Champions League. But another trophy to the collection for Arsenal and for Mikel Arteta. They start without they mean to go on. Arsenal 3-0 victors at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff over Manchester City. And Daniel Munny, what a game, what a performance from the Gunners as they gun down Manchester City.
Absolutely brilliant result, brilliant performance from Arsenal. Very efficient. You've got to say, both defensively and attackingly. You couldn't have asked for anything more from as an Arsenal fan. Fantastic performance, considering the players out, just coming back, the England boys, Spain boys, maybe the same for City. But Arsenal certainly looked like they're a couple of paces ahead of City in their preparation for the new season. Absolutely outstanding from Arsenal today, I must admit.
Yes, been absolutely brilliant today of Arsenal and fully deserved of this victory as well. And you've got to say that this Arsenal side is one who could win the title again. The Premier League season starts next weekend, and Arsenal versus Cardiff City will be up on Friday evening at 8 o'clock. Daniel Munny, who you heard on Co-Com today, will be the man in my chair on Friday nights doing the commentary of the game. And hopefully we'll have Mike Onoman on alongside Dan for that game there as well. Before we do leave you and bring you back in a minute, Dan, just to let people know the championship scores so far. As we see the scores there, Burnley losing by 1-0 against West Ham United at half time. Watford beat Southampton by 2-1. So far then, in the championship, we've only had 1 goal of straw, and that was on the TCHub in Sheffield United against Birmingham. We had Wolves and Blackburn 2-2 draw on the TCHub as well. And I'm going to say, I've started the season the way I mean to go on. When I do matches on the commentary of Dan, very often I get a 0-0 draw. I think I've passed that baton over to you, Paul James, and I'm sorry because he had the 0-0 draw yesterday between Sheffield United and Birmingham. We've had 3 goals today, Dan.
I think I'm the lucky charm. I haven't had a 0-0 yet.
Dan, don't speak to him soon. You'll probably get that on Friday night.
I don't know. I hope not. But what we haven't touched, what we didn't touch on, Russ, was that this is the 4th meeting between these two in the Community Shield, and there's been 3 outright Arsenal wins. And in 2023, it was a 1-1 draw, which Arsenal then went on to win 4-1 on penalties. So that makes it 4 wins out of 4 for Arsenal against Man City in the Community Shield. And this takes Arsenal's tally of Community Shield, Charity Shield victories up to 18.
Yes.
Man City's still on 7. And it seems to be, this is like the FA Cup. It seems to be a trophy Arsenal like.
Yes, it does indeed, Dan. It does indeed. As Arsenal win yet another game here.
Don't quote me on this. Don't quote me on this, but I think this moves Arsenal one behind Man United, who I think are the outright leaders with the Community Shield on 19, and Arsenal on 18. So, they're one behind United now in this, and they carry on playing the way they did today. They could be in it again.
I've just looked at it here, Dan, and you are wrong in that aspect. Man United have got 21 wins.
Oh, 21.
Yes, 17 outright and 4 shared titles. Arsenal have got 18 wins, 17 outright and 1 shared.
Okay. So they're a couple behind United then. So they need to keep going, Arsenal. More trophies, more Community Shields, please.
Yes, so that is there is. Dan, do you know in the Community Shield? Dan, do you know the first one was? The first Community Shield game was between.
I'm going to go Burnley v someone.
Manchester United versus Queen's Park Rangers in 1908. 1-1 draw the first time around, and then Man United won 4-0 in the replay.
Okay. Oh,
and that was played. And that was played at Stamford Bridge.
Oh, interesting. Thank you, Russ.
Back in 1908, then way before either of us was born or even thought about.
That's it, mate. Well, maybe even before our parents were thought about.
Yeah, Leeds won the. I'm just looking at some of the Man City have come running up before in this tournament. I'm just looking at the City that have come runners up before. They came runners up in 1934, Manchester City.
Yep, they lost 4-0 to Arsenal.
Lost 4-0 to Arsenal. They've also come runner up in 1956 when they lost 1-0 to their bitter rivals Manchester United. They also, in 1969, they come runners up in a defeat 2-1. Just have a guess against who, Dan?
Say that again.
Man City also lost in 1969.
Right, 4-1. I'm going to go against Leeds.
Lost 2-1 against Leeds.
Yep.
At Ellen Road. City also lost 1-0 in the Community Shield in 1973 against Burnley.
Right.
On Main Road. Man City, just looking here now, when they've come second, lost 3-2 to the bitter rivals Manchester United in 2011, lost 3-0 to Arsenal in the 2014 Community Shield.
Yeah, that's the one I went to.
They lost 1-0 in 2021 to Leicester City, lost 3-1 to Liverpool in 2022, lost in 2023 to Arsenal after a 1-0 draw, lost 4-1 on penalties. So 3 years on, Arsenal have won the Community Shield 3-0 against Arsenal, against Manchester City when they won it back in 2023 as well, Dan.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
Yes, and
maybe if there's anyone from the FA listening, instead, if there's a team that does the double, instead of having the Charity Community Shield at first versus second in the Premier League, maybe if there's a different League Cup winner, get the League Cup winners in, give them a chance.
Yes,
So the league winners play a winner of a cup competition if they do the double.
yeah.
Give someone else a chance for a day out at Wembley or Cardiff, wherever it's held in the future.
Yes, I think next year, Dan, we'll be back at Wembley. The only reason we couldn't have it to Wembley this time around was because
FA Trophy?
no, it was this year at Wembley Stadium. The band The Weekend, well, the artist The Weekend was performing at Wembley Stadium this weekend. So and that's already been booked up way before the Community Shield and everything.
Sorry, mate. Who was performing?
The Weekend is called The Weekend, and is there after hours till dawn stadium tour, and it's at Wembley today, tomorrow, then again at Wembley on Tuesday and on Wednesday as well, and also on the 19th as well. So that's why they couldn't have this game at Wembley Stadium today. As the officials are going up to get their goals from this game. All the officials going up there now. And I've got to say, Sam Barrett did a remarkable job. And you've got to say, Dan, this one today, if this is how the officiating is going to go moving forward, Dan, then in the Premier League, then I'd be happy for that, because you've got to say, Dan, Sam Barrett, who's going to be in the Premier League this season, did put full wrong in terms of officiating this game today between Arsenal and Manchester City, did he?
No, he done a great job. I mean, what we mustn't dismiss as well is it was a very clean game overall.
It's Man City go up to get their winner-up medals.
You know, there wasn't any dirty challenges. There weren't any, the corners, the grappling and holding and pushing and shoving at corners. Wasn't as much as what we're used to over previous seasons. It was a very clean game, and maybe an overhyped pre-season friendly, like Paul said at the beginning, and maybe the refereed it like that. But he did do a fantastic job. Take nothing away from him, Sam Barrett. He did a fantastic job today. He got a lot of major calls right. The Gabriel incident, the Ricardo Calafiore dive, spot on with all of them. No need to get VAR involved. Hopefully, let's hope moving forward and for the season ahead, VAR only gets involved when it's absolutely necessary.
Yes, as City still collecting their runner-up medals, as we call it, skating is. Nico O'Reilly gets his now, then Ryan Cherky, and then Joshua Vardiel and Mark Gertie will complete the citizens of them getting their runner-up medals here before we get ready for the winners also to go and get their medals for this one in a second. They're moving down, so just to give the silver ones out to the runners up, and now the gold ones will be coming up to go around the necks of all the Arsenal players. So what I'm going to do here, as we go through, I'll go through to which players going through as and when. So we go through with David Raya first, then it'll be Gabriel, then Moreno, then White, Eze, Madueke, Bruno Guimaraes there as well. We'll go through. So David Raya gets his first, then it's Gabriel, then it's Mikel Moreno who will get his medal. Then it'll be Ben White, the Englishman, followed by another Englishman in Richard Eze, and Noni Madueke follows him. Who'll get his medal now?
2 in a row for Eze.
Yes, and now Bruno Guimaraes gets his first medal as an Arsenal player, and first trophy as an Arsenal player. Then next up is the man who didn't get picked today to come on the pitch in Max Dowman. There is Christian Mosquera there getting his medal. Victor Gyökeres up next. It's a shame not to see the brilliant Max Dowman today. There's Ricardo Calafiore again. So here's your player of the match, Christos Solis, getting his medal, first medal as an Arsenal player who have been joining the club this summer. There's Piero Incapié, who'll get another medal as an Arsenal player. There is Martin Zubamendi, who was linked with a move away from Arsenal in the summer, but he's decided so far to stay with the Gunners. Lewis Skelly also linked to move away, decided he wants to stay with the Gunners. There's Kepa, who clubs are in talks with to sign the Arsenal backup goalkeeper. There is Kai Havertz, one of the goal scorers for this Arsenal side today. Declan Rice gets another medal here. This time it's a silver one, as he got the gold one this time, as he got a bronze one in the World Cup. There's Bukayo Saka getting a gold one, as he got a bronze one in the World Cup. There is Arsenal boss Mikel gets his medal over his there, and there is the Arsenal skipper Martin Odegaard, who gets a hug. One of the people handing out the medals, and now will walk down to be passed over the Community Shield. Will Martin Odegaard, he collects that now, and now he makes his way over to the plinth where it says FA Community Shield Winners 2026, which will have all the Arsenal players and the boss Arteta on there. He now walks over to it, does Martin Odegaard, being told to move out of the way. Now Declan Rice and the other Arsenal players moving their hands around. Is there the trophy there, or the shield there for Arsenal, and Martin Odegaard confirms Arsenal for Community Shield winners for 2026 for the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. Big thank you to everybody who's tuning in with us today. Just before we do go down, just talk to us about Martin Odegaard's performance today, a captain's performance from the Arsenal captain today.
Yeah, I think it was. He's had his team very well organised. He's pressed high at times when it was time to press high. He's dropped deep to help fill in and make the midfielder a free. He hasn't been back training for long. He had a few minutes here in the Emirates Cup, didn't he, and against Como. He looked good against Como in the first half. I think he looked excellent today, Odegaard. He looked a lot further ahead than I expected him to be, considering how well Norway did in the World Cup, how far they went, and how, he obviously hasn't been back at Arsenal for that long. But he's back, and he's looking like the player he was a couple of seasons ago when he was absolutely fantastic, outstanding player for Arsenal. And
yes,
hopefully that carries on.
As there is the Arsenal squad, including the backroom staff and the third choice goalkeeper Ilan Melier there, jumping up around at the back as they're all getting in on the act, having a photo with the shirts at the front, and now all jumping around there at the back there for Arsenal. Melier, the third choice goalkeeper, that's also following his free transfer that is, from Leeds United this summer. Played in some of the friendlies when David Raya was having a bit longer of a rest due to his World Cup exploits. But the full-time scoreline in this game today in the Community Shield is finished. Arsenal 3, Manchester City 0. Our next live offering will come from the Premier League as Arsenal take on Coventry City. If you have one before next Friday evening, join Dan Money on air. We're about $7.50 for that one. I'll be in the presenter's chair for that one. And thank you very much for listening to everybody on the channel today. Thank you to Dan Money for joining us on commentary today. Really enjoyed working alongside you as always. Big thank you to Paul for his producing work today. Just before we leave you, we'll just bring you the latest score from the Championship, which still reads 54 minutes on. It reads after 54 minutes on the clock. Burnley 0, West Ham United 1. But for myself, Russ, Vernon, Dan Money, Paul James, and the rest of the team here with the Commentary Hub, thank you very much for listening to our weekend's coverage. We'll be back with more World Cup coverage coming up shortly here on the Commentary from myself, Russ, Vernon, and the rest of the team. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Goodbye for now.